Yo, my people, welcome back to the Bros podcast with me, Amaan. I got the dynamic duo, Roshaan, Shayaan, and we got a special guest, Taf. What are you saying?
Good to be back, man. Good to be back.
Taf is the first ever guest we had, so we had to bring him back, especially for this one. Top 10 Premier League centre backs of all time.
Shayaan's position.
Shayaan, you're centre back.
No. That's Shayaan's favourite position, man.
Taf used to be a centre back in the day.
I still am, Still am. I rate myself from my centre back to centre mid.
What do you do?
Yeah. Just because it's slow back there. It's easier, man. You watch it more.
So before we get started, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell thing to be notified. Check Spotify if you prefer the audio, and check Monday episodes if you prefer the longer ones. So getting into this, 10 man gave their list. Us 4, and then Malik, Mohsin, Shaheem, Shaquille, Shuaib, and Osama. So shout out you done. There's out of 100 points. Whoever you put first gets 10, second 9, third 8, down to whoever you put 10th place got 1 point. So it's out of 100 points. 17 man were selected in total. So the first player on 1 point after being put 10th by Malik is Ruben Diaz.
Ruben Diaz.
That's a bit.
Has he won anything?
He's been in the league for
Yeah, he won the Prem.
He's been in there for like, he hasn't even been
more than
a
2 years.
Yeah, 18 months.
18 months.
Yeah, how was he in the list?
Actually, I don't rate Ruben Diaz because I've watched him a bit after he got hyped up.
Yeah.
And what it is for me is he goes down way too easy, man. He's always on the floor. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I don't rate centre backs who like constantly play on the floor. Like if you're good at tackling, that's fine. One Bissaka tackling, that's fine. But he's constantly on the floor, bro. Like you fake shot, he's going
I don't
down
even
straight
think
away.
he's C's best centre back. I prefer Laporte.
Yeah, facts. I think Laporte's a better football player overall than
The
Diaz.
thing with Diaz is when it works,
Yeah.
like, that's when people cast it up in it when it works. But
So do you think he deserved the PFA Player of the Year last year?
No.
Harry Kane deserved that last year.
Oh yeah, he had a 5 year.
Harry Kane
Top goal
deserved
scorer, top assister.
that. Yeah.
Sean, what do you think of Ruben Diaz?
He's a good player. He's been good last year, but to put him in the top 10, that's a bit of a stretch.
Top 10 all time. And the Prem's had bare good centre backs. Alright, so on 2 points, after being selected 9th by Shaheem, is Sami Hyypiä.
Liverpool player.
A Liverpool player. And
Obviously,
obviously,
Liverpool player.
he's a Liverpool guy.
I think Sammy was better than Carragher. I think of the partnership he was the better centre back. But he just played in that weird time when Liverpool weren't winning anything.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to put him up there.
And Carragher got that longevity in the Prem.
Yeah.
But as a player, he seemed alright. I didn't see much of it, I seen a little bit. But he seemed like a decent player.
Yeah, but Liverpool won that team, so you can't really do anything with them.
That's the key thing, yeah. When players like that, when they're the team and the team's not winning much, obviously you don't get the applaudits unless you're doing mad things.
Oh, but let's look at that. The reverse to that. What if you're in a team, Ruben Diaz, that's doing a lot,
Yeah.
but yourself, you're not.
That's like a lot of City players over the last few years.
Yeah, true.
Look at
That's what he says about people like Gary Neville. That's what he says.
yeah.
Nah, Gary was a leader, man.
He says Gary Neville was dead, he was getting carried by the whole team.
I hate going on. Yeah, this bear man, like Foden's got 3 Prems. His first Prem title, he played 5 games.
Okay. Where does Foden? What position is he?
I don't know, it's very weird. You see him on the left, you see him in the middle, I see him playing false 9.
Yeah, and you also see him in midfield. So I'm like,
I don't know, where do you think he's best?
yeah, I have no idea. I genuinely have no idea.
I think if Pep ever leaves City, he's gonna be finished as a player.
Why?
Because he's so used to Guardiola's system.
I think he's a system player. I think that
He's a system player, and if Pep goes,
So even if you think he ever left City, he would
he'll
be...
be finished, I think.
I think it's the same thing. I mean, at the Euros, I think that's why Saka played better than.
Yeah.
Everyone thought Foden was gonna have an amazing Euros. He was
But
there.
he's too used to playing Guardiola's system. Guardiola plays such like different football, isn't it? So technical.
System player. He's just not overall.
Yeah.
And he fits it well, isn't he? He's good with the ball, that's about it, I don't know.
These, yeah. So on 3 points, we have Kolo Toure. I put him 10. Shaquille put him 9. I think he's an underrated centre back. I ain't gonna say he's a mad elite player. Obviously, Yaya's better than him. But
You know what it is?
Still
You know what it is a Kolo? The memory I have of Kolo isn't Kolo from Arsenal. Because I think that was the best version of him.
Like
I remember him from Liverpool. He was a shambles, bro. He was literally the reason they brought in the Van Dijks. Do you know what I mean? So like, I
he was
remember.
at City, innit?
Did he go City as well?
I think he was at City, you know, with his brother, yeah.
But I remember him at Liverpool.
He was at Celtic as well.
Oh yeah, that was just a business one.
But the Arsenal Kolo Toure is like the invincible Kolo Toure.
Like that.
Was he part of the Invincible?
Yeah.
Was he? So was it him and Sol Campbell?
I don't know if he started.
He must have been a bench player.
Let me check.
Yeah, because just thinking about it, yeah, obviously that was the best him, but if the best him was also on the bench still, you know what I mean? It kind of puts him in his level, doesn't it? But yeah, solid player. What, 3 votes?
Yeah, I picked him.
Yeah.
I don't think he's just.
Oh yeah. So Lehman, Cole, Lauren, Campbell, Toure.
Yeah, okay, so it started.
On 4 points, I put him, Shayaan put him 10 and I put him 8, is Gary Cavian. That is my boy.
Gary Cahill.
Nah.
Might as well put Johnny Evans.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Nah.
And I swear Evans got more prems.
Evans is a better player than
Yeah.
Cavian's got 2, I think. Now I think he's very
They're the same
underrated.
player.
His partnership with Terry was elite.
Gary Cahill and Johnny Evans are the same
I
player.
swear Evans is better than Kevin.
Nah, Cahill is a baller.
Okay.
I think he's the most underrated player I ever seen.
No way, man. Don't say
He was captain, for so many trophies that
Everton.
Chelsea won.
Was he at
No, for
Everton?
Chelsea.
No, but for Everton? Was he at Everton?
Nah, he was at Chelsea. Chelsea born from Bolton,
Yeah,
and he went to Palace.
Yeah.
I think he's at Bournemouth now. But his time I think he was at Chelsea for like 7 years. Yeah, he probably had the Champions League at Chelsea, or maybe signed just after.
There's so many better centre backs in there.
Huh? It's because I grew up watching Cahill, innit?
But you're gonna sit there and tell me he's a better player than Johnny Evans?
Yeah.
Ah, come on.
Yeah.
Nah. I grew up watching him
Untitled
when I seen him.
alone, he's not.
I wouldn't
the
put
same.
Johnny Evans in the list, but Johnny Evans was definitely better than Gary Cahill.
Shouldn't tell him.
Nah, I backed him purely on the basis so he gets the recommendation he deserves. So we have this talk about him.
It was a recommendation.
Used the wrong word, man.
Recognition, man.
Yeah, the recognition he deserves. So we spent a good 2 minutes talking about Cahill as he deserves.
Why does he deserve it? What did he do?
Because he's a good player. Won
He
his
won
trophies.
every
Won his trophies.
trophy at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Okay.
He might have started in Munich or was injured. I don't know.
Okay, that doesn't justify why he's a top 10.
Yeah, it does because he was elite in the Prem for Chelsea.
Longevity as well.
Yeah, I think he was captain when Chelsea won their last Prem as well. Yeah.
Okay, so Phil Jones deserves some of this shit.
Phil Jones is a bench warmer compared to a star.
Phil Jones probably has more trophies than Gary Cahill.
Nah.
And the Champions League.
Yeah. He has more trophies than Gary Cahill, so he deserves
He's
some.
a piece.
Okay.
Come on, man. Can't use that as an argument.
Roshaan's just there. And on 10 points, we have Jamie Carragher. So he was selected by Shaquille and Osama in 10, Mustin in 9, Shaheem Shazi Smith had him in 5th place.
Please.
You know what? I think Carragher is the typical player that explains Liverpool in that period. You know them players who are just above the
He
average.
was just,
You know what I
he
mean?
was just a good player.
He was committed to the club. Don't get me wrong, he's a one club man, but besides that, he wasn't
wasn't a great-
I couldn't-
quick. He wasn't an exception on the air. Do you know what I mean?
Like, I can't imagine him in a title winning team.
Like, why not if he was in Premier League right now, he would struggle to get Liverpool's
Oh,
bench.
yeah, 100%.
You wouldn't reach Liverpool's bench.
Nah, Joe Gomez is 100% better than
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Matip is better than him. And Van Dijk's obviously better than him. You wouldn't make Liverpool's bench right now.
I do think he's overrated. I think it's just his longevity and
I don't
it's
think
mainly
he's
the
overrated.
Liverpool fans.
I don't think he's overrated. I think it's just people just. I don't think he's overrated because no one rates him.
I think outside the Liverpool man,
Yeah.
he's not that guy, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably longevity. Just people remember him fondly because he played for a while, innit?
Yeah, and it was Liverpool. And people think of Liverpool as this great team.
Like, most people prefer him as a defender anyway.
That's saying a lot. He might have a better career as a pundit than a footballer.
He's like a Markovic type of player, isn't it?
Exactly.
So just missing out on the list, in 11th place, on 11 points, is Gary Palista. So Roshaan put him 10, I put him 9, Muslim put him 8th, and Shoaib had him in 6th. So obviously Shoaib's the older guy you've seen.
Yeah, guys like him and Steve Bruce had that partnership, innit?
That's like star at the Premier.
Yeah.
See, I think...
That was when Man United won though.
No, I genuinely think he was a top player. Top player. Just I didn't really get to watch him. I saw a lot more of Brucey than I did of Pallister, but, you know. And also there's this thing about pairings, you know, legendary pairings, you know, like league-winning pairings.
Yeah.
You can't have one without the other, really, to be honest. But yeah, I think if I'd seen a bit more of him, I would say it was Shayaan, but I didn't see that.
Yeah, like, if you talk about pairings in Premier League, that's more up there.
Up there, yeah. Would you say it's better than the Ferdinand Vidic?
No.
Just because I think they were more successful.
Oh yeah.
Well, you never
I don't think these men won the Champions League, innit?
No, they weren't. No, Steve Bruce left before
I think they just missed
Steve
99,
Bruce
didn't they?
left, like 1996.
Yeah.
So 99 was what, Stam and...
It was Stam and...
Stam and Rio, were it? Was it?
No, Buddy Johnson.
Who?
Buddy Johnson.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was Stam. Anyway.
Yeah. So your boy...
Palista is a baller. Deserves to be on the list.
So, getting on to the top 10, yeah? So in 10th place with 14 points, we have former Chelsea centre-back Marcel Desailly. So 4-man picked him. Taff picked him 10, Osama 8th, Mohsen and Shayaan put him 6th. So how come you put Desailly 6th?
Because he's a legend in FIFA.
No. I didn't see him play that much, but I think the bias came in because he played for Chelsea.
I think he was only at Chelsea for like 4 or 5 years. That's how long he played in the Prem. He done alright, like he didn't do much. He was at that period at Chelsea just before they went off in it.
He was
Mourinho, innit?
Yeah, he was a top baller, to be fair, because I think he did the league and the Champions League with Marseille.
Yeah.
And then he did the league. No, was it the league? No, I think he got the Champions League with Milan. So he's got like 2 Champions Leagues in different clubs. Do you know what I mean? So he is.
Yeah, 2
Champions
Champions
League,
League,
like a
2
World Cup.
Syria. And that French team as well.
Exactly. So he is a baller, but like I think probably coming to Chelsea he was at his peak or going down now. So he should make the list 100%, but he wasn't at his best in the Prem.
His best time was
I think if he was in the Prem for longer, he'll get more of a recognition.
Like he's a legendary centre back, just not legendary Prem centre back, innit?
Yeah, exactly.
So
he's 10th, isn't it?
Yeah. So
I think that's a good stop.
In 9th place, 17 points, just 3 ahead of him, is another former Chelsea centre back, Ricardo Caballo. So Osama had him 9, Malik and Shaquille 8th, Taff 7th, and Shaheem 6th.
Trent his partner,
Yeah.
That's what he's
First
known for.
partner.
That's what he's really known for.
Now he's known for Mourinho had him at Porto, took him to Chelsea, took him to Real Madrid.
I mean, if a manager like Mourinho like literally drags you around. Same with Essien, isn't it? Well, Chelsea to Madrid, isn't it?
Yeah, he had Deco as well there.
I also think the only reason he's kind of second to Terry is because Terry was English. Because Cavallo was amazing. He also had a really good partnership with Pepe for Portugal.
Yeah.
And then equally with Pepe for Madrid.
Yeah, I think I don't think Terry is that much of a better player, even if he was a better player.
Like Cavallo's won the league at all 3. He won the Champions League with Porto as well.
I think the thing that puts Terry ahead of him is longevity. I don't think ability-wise, he's that much different.
As well as Terry's English, isn't it? So he gets a bit more.
Ability-wise, there's not much difference between them.
Yeah. Shayaan, you didn't put Cavallo, but you put Desailly, so.
No, I think Desailly as a player was better than Cavallo. I didn't see much of either of them, but from what I've seen, I think Desailly is a better player.
Cavallo's an icon of FIFA. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I remember that partnership, man. I loved it. But 8th place, 18 points, 1 ahead of Cavallo. We have Yap Stam. So he was selected 9th by Taff, 8th by Shayaan. Malik and Shuaib put him 7. Roshaan put him 6. So Roshaan, your boy, the upstamp.
Yeah, baller. Scary defender, he was massive. Man.
But he was only in the Prem for 3 years.
Yeah, man, he won a Champions League, he won trouble in that year.
I think
he won a title every year.
Yeah, he won the
at
league
United.
every year. He was like,
Yeah.
And the trouble as well.
That's a mad thing, innit?
Yeah. Also, when United bought him, he was the most expensive defender in the world.
Oh, okay.
And I think someone else on this list was also the most expensive defender in the world.
We get
So
to
yeah, we'll get there. But yeah, top player. I think he left United too soon. I think Fergie even came out and said something like, I made a mistake selling him that early because he got injured or something, and then they sold him off because they thought he wouldn't get back. But yeah.
And for me, when I do these lists, I do look at longevity. I pick longevity over the short period, but I think with him is an exception.
Yeah.
To win the Prem every year you're there,
Yeah.
and the Champions
The
League
trouble.
is a mad.
And
thing.
you're like a big part of that.
Also, yeah, he was
Yeah.
the main centre back at the time. It's not like he was
Yeah.
on the sidelines for a season. No, he was the main guy. So
And then you even seen him after for AC Milan.
You look like him his partner in it because he was just
he was
he
amazing.
overshadowed him so much.
I think another quote from Schmeichel, who obviously played with a lot of good defenders.
Yeah.
He said he was the best he played with.
Yeah.
So that's big props from a top keeper. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And from a top keeper played
If
with
he
top
was in the
players.
Prem for longer, even just another 2-3 seasons, I think people would
Appreciate it more.
put him.
Yeah, and
Like,
the
top
top
two,
two
three.
more Premier Leagues, aren't it? So really important.
You can't say that
Why not?
because it was just him out the team and United lost the league.
No,
in
yeah,
entry.
it's more chance we're gonna win the league with him than with
Who won it that year? 2000? The Arsenal.
2001.
No, I think isn't that when Chelsea started with Mourinho?
2001.
No, Chelsea's first
Arsenal
was 2, 4, 5.
Arsenal won 2001, isn't it?
Wait, what year was Invincible? 5-6?
Invincible is 3-4. Chelsea won
I'm
4,
not pretty
5.
sure Arsenal won 2001.
Okay.
I think Man United won 2002.
So jumping up to 7, 25 points ahead of Yap Stam.
Yeah.
43 points Arsenal legend Tony Adams.
Yeah.
He was selected by everyone apart from Musin. So Sheem had him 8, Shuaib, me, Shaquille, Osama had him 7, Malik, Roshaan had him 5th, and then Shayaan and Taf had him 4th. So that means you 3 had him like the highest. So
Yeah.
what made Tony Adams so elite in your eyes?
He played under two very different styles. So obviously, everyone knows Wenger's football,
Yeah.
or like the passing, flowing type of football. He was good in that, but he was also really good as a typical centre back who just lumps it out, just solid
Yeah.
defensive. Do you know what I mean? So the fact that two different styles, you know, like we were saying about system players, he wasn't a system player. He was just an all-round baller.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So he did whatever the manager needed him to do, and he done it well. So I reckon.
And when Wenger came in, helped him win 2 titles. Before Wenger, he won 2 first division titles. So he won 4 leagues with Arsenal in total as well. And like Arsenal, they got a statue of him outside, so it shows how
Yeah.
important he was.
Bro,
To that club.
he was there in the Invincibles as well.
Nah, he retired just before that.
Yeah, he was a sixth centre back. He was probably Arsenal's best centre back.
It was just
in history.
most probably his
Yeah.
prime was like them few years before the Prem started,
Yeah.
innit?
It's like similar to Steve Bruce. Like
Yeah.
they were like a bit too early in it.
But they're like the proper old school defenders that like a lot of teams would love to have now.
They
innit?
wouldn't get that recognition these days.
Like he's a player I think he could play in this day.
Yeah.
He probably would. Probably would be able to play now.
And he was a proper leader as well.
That's what another thing that makes him even better. If he was a leader, if he was captain in it,
Yeah.
he led his team. That makes him one level higher in it.
They called him Mr. Arsenal, don't they?
Yeah.
Top boy.
Proper winner.
Yeah, he deserves it.
So 6th place, 5 points ahead with 48 is another former Arsenal player and a former Tottenham player. So Campbell. So he was picked by Shuaib in 10, Shayaan in 9, Roshaan 8th by Roshaan, Malik, Taf and Osama had him 6, Shaquille had him 5th, and Musin and Sheem had him 4th.
Fourth,
Everyone picked him.
I think is a stretch, but he was a good player.
Yeah.
I don't think he was that great though.
He won the FA Cup at Portsmouth.
Do you know what it is? I think the reason, well, in terms of England, that he didn't do so well is because he played with other players on this list.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? who were a bit higher rated than him, or who were at teams that were winning more at the time. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think ability-wise, he was right up there. I mean, he was part of the Invincibles, isn't it? So
Integral part as well.
for at least that season, he was top player in the league.
Do you think what brings him down is the fact he was Spurs captain and he went to Arsenal?
That must
think-
bring him down.
I think.
I don't think it brings him down. He wanted to move on to better things, didn't he? He was off.
Yeah, but to be Tottenham captain and go to your biggest rivals. Imagine if Man U's captain Harry Maguire right now went to see.
Bro, happening.
Safe.
Okay, say for example Roy Keane went to like Liverpool.
Yeah, I don't know. That's different. Man.
Yeah, I get that. I get how that would, sour your people's view.
Yeah. Damage, like even like in the summer when Ronaldo was linked to City,
Yeah.
a lot of people saying that's gonna destroy his Man U legacy and that.
Saul Campbell played more of his career at Tottenham.
Yeah,
Did he?
he did. Yeah,
Played 9 years at Tottenham, only 5 at Arsenal.
So it's similar to you.
he was full Tottenham legend, bro.
Yeah.
So they like I don't think that man class him as a legend, huh?
He went back to
Even though
Arsenal in
he's-
2010.
Yeah.
Mm.
Went to Portsmouth with an FA Cup day, then went back to Arsenal.
Yeah.
But even like he scored in the Champions League final against Barca as well in 2006.
Mm.
Like he was a proper like, he's another centre back that you would love to have now, see
Yeah.
now.
He's probably like Harry Kane. If he played for another team, he'd have won a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now, at the end of his career, he's not got so many honours just because of where he played.
And like you said, I think his name does come down a bit because of the other English centre backs at the time.
Yeah, because like even if ability was at a similar level, he just didn't win anything.
Yeah.
Like,
And
That's
that's what's peak, innit?
So
He didn't have winning experience, did he?
yeah.
So getting into the top 5 on 64 points, so 16 ahead of Saul Campbell, is the only current player on this list, the big man himself, Virgil van Dijk. So Shayaan put him 10, the Liverpool fan put him the lowest. I put him 6, Mohsin, Shayaan, Shoaib and Osama had him 5th, Roshaan, Shaquille and Taf put him 3rd, and Malik put him number 1.
Come on.
Number 1. Nah, I mean, there's an argument for it. Innit?
I hear a lot of people say it.
You can't put him number 1, ability-wise, isn't it?
Yeah,
He is like what you want in a centre back.
yeah.
He's
Like the
fast,
perfect
he's strong,
centre back.
he's good in the air, he reads the game, he's a great passer.
But it's only an argument, though, because what's he won in the Prem? It's just
The
league-
one-
the
one-
league-
No,
Yeah.
that's the thing that brings him down a little bit. Innit? I think ability-wise, he's as good as the best.
And I mean, it'll be interesting to see how long he can go
Yeah,
for. Do you know what I mean?
like
Isn't he
Liverpool this season they could.
how old is he now?
I think it's
Like
20, 29, 30.
Ah, it's
But
just
how long has he been at the top for? And he's 29.
See, he was at Southampton before, and he did some time at Celtic and that.
Yeah.
So he moved at the peak years of a football, like 26-ish.
26 is probably good time to get into
But
Liverpool.
centre backs can last long. Look at Thiago Silva now.
Yeah, but it's whether they can, because Thiago Silva's a different player. And Thiago Silva's not that
Also,
strong. passer.
Thiago never depended on his pace.
Yeah, he's that player that reads the game. He knows how to like play with the players, innit? Van Dijk's that player that relies on his speed, his strength, his like heading. He's not really that technical.
So what do you think he needs to do for like people like the doubters to put him with them names in it? You just think he needs the titles now?
Yeah, he needs the
Yeah.
titles.
Yeah.
He needs to prove. I think he's proven that on any given day he could be the best centre back in the world.
Yeah.
He needs to do that over 3-4
I mean,
seasons.
there's one thing that would have solidified it if you win that Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
So what happens if say the next 5 years he still plays at the level he is now, but the trophies ain't there?
Then I think he's top maybe 3.
No, I think you can put him over people like John Terry, but I don't think you can put him over like Rio Ferdinand
No, you couldn't.
because they just done so much in it.
They won.
So much.
They won loads, didn't they?
And
So-
they were like main parts, and like they were actually good players.
Say if you had one game like Champions League final, and you had to pick all these men in the list,
Yeah.
where would you have Van Dijk then for one game?
Like if I had to pick a partnership right now, I'm picking Vidic and Van Dijk at their peak.
Yeah.
They're the two I'm picking.
I still think Vidic is a better player than Van Dijk.
Yeah, I think he's a better player, but I think if I had to say a partnership,
Yeah, him and Van Dijk.
I think he maybe as good as Rio Ferdinand. I don't beat. Obviously, Rio Ferdinand's got so many trophies.
Yeah.
Like, you just win so much, his career's so much better that you have to put him ahead. That's why I put Van Dijk third. He's not really at the top 2 level.
So in 4th place, 5 points, is the man with the most Premier League titles in this list. 69 points, someone we just spoke about, Rio Ferdinand. So 7th place by Mohsin, Shaheem and Shayaan. I have him 5th, Shuaib and Osama put him 4th, Malik, Roshaan and Shaquille all put him 2nd, and Taf put him number 1.
Wow.
So how come you put Rio Ferdinand?
For what you just said,
Yeah.
he's got the most premiers. He's got the most premiers.
6 titles.
Yeah, he's got the Champions League, he's got Club World Cup. I mean, in terms of titles, he's definitely up there. He's definitely up there. But if you look, the thing with me and Rio is that he was he broke the mold for centre halves. He was that silky smooth. He didn't look like he was trying. Do you know what I mean? He always looked like it was easy for him.
Yeah.
Or maybe like, you know, some people said, oh, he played up behind a great midfield, blah, blah, blah. United never had like, you know, a ball winner, maybe Keane, I guess, but it just looked easy for him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he broke the mold. You know, that kind of ball playing centre back. He was that before that was a thing.
And like you said, most expensive centre back.
Yeah, and I mean, with good reason, man. Look at the titles he's won. For that, the amount of money they paid for him, well worth it, man. Well worth it.
I just think him and Vidic just work so well together.
Yeah.
Like even Vidic made him.
So I'm guessing you man say the best partnership all time.
Yeah.
Premier League, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
All time.
Shayaan, what do you think of Rio?
I think he's. Oh, wait, where did I put him? I ain't got my list. What are you checking for?
I've got your list, you toilet.
Oh.
That's what I'm checking here. You put Rio 7th.
7th?
Yeah.
Oh. Maybe. Maybe I was a bit harsh.
I bet.
Maybe I was a bit harsh, yeah.
Not even top 5, you know.
Yeah, he probably, he does be behind.
Okay, so Rio has won 6 Prems, yeah, but only one of them he won without Vidic. So do you think that he was lucky to have Vidic next to him?
I don't think it was one of them or better than the other. I think they just worked so well together.
But
You
like,
got one like.
He only won 1 title without him.
Yeah. Because they played so much together, innit?
Also, I mean, you remember when, well, I don't know if you know this, but when Vidic came, he was actually rubbish. When he first came to United, he was rubbish. Like, he did not even make the squads. And then obviously he like bulked up and like, he came in Jan, I think. You know, it's a bit weird to come to the league in Jan, but didn't have a pre-season with the team, whatever, so maybe that explains it. But then I think what Roshaan's saying is they were so good together. They worked. It just worked. It clicked. You know what I mean? It's one of them where like you can tell the manager looked at, this is what I've got in Rio. This is probably his strengths. So who can I get with strengths that just complement him? Do you know what I mean? And they went out and found the perfect person to do that.
Vidic is just a dog and he would just go for everything.
He was.
Every single ball he would go for. It's just so
It must have been scary for a striker, innit?
scary.
Because you knew he was going to challenge you every time. Sometimes, you know, like now in the Prem, sometimes you see like centre backs getting out jumped or like winning headers.
That would happen to Vidic.
Never. He would challenge anyone.
And even if you did have a player that would run past Vidic, Ferdinand was there because Ferdinand was fast.
Yeah, he was quick
Ferdinand
as
could
well.
get the ball.
That's one thing we don't point out. He was
Yeah.
quick. He was quick.
It was
Alright.
so sick.
So in 3rd place, 7 ahead with 76, is Man City legend Vincent Kompany. Shaquille 6th, Taf had him 5th, Malik and Roshaan put him 4th, Mohsin, Shayaan, Shuaib and Osama put him 3rd, I'll put him 2nd, and Shaheem put him number 1.
I don't think you could put Company number
Why?
one. Because I know he was a good player, he was a good leader. Like, obviously you won't see that title with that bubble in it.
Yeah, he got 4 titles to his name.
Yeah. But was he that like sick player? Like people with different tackles were scared to go against. I don't think he wasn't.
I think for a season or two, he was kind of, you know.
I don't think attackers would be like, I don't want to go against.
I think the issue with him was his injury, isn't it?
But I think that happened towards the end of his career
Yeah.
because he bulked up quite a bit. So I
The
think,
last few years.
but he was good. I think he was quite symbolic of the change at City. Like he
Yeah, he
was
was a big
one,
I think he was the first player that them man bought.
yeah. Which is quite fortunate because they bought Zabaleta just before the money came in, and they obviously bought him after, and he went on to be. I think he came in as a CDM or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they moved him to centre back. But yeah, he was a solid player, man. Regardless of who he played with, because I remember they had Mangala, they had bare
That's
people
what I'm
next
saying.
to him.
He never had a partner like Ferdinand Vidic
no.
had.
He never had a good partnership, but he was, which I think emphasizes that he was a solid player. Though.
Yeah. He was a solid player, and he was like a Tony Adams kind of player. I think him and Tony Adams are similar level.
And even in the fullback position, like Man U had, they had Ferdinand Vidic, they had Patrice Evra there, and Neville there, and then even, who came, Valencia or Rafael or someone.
Yeah, actually.
There's still these, compared to, say, you had like Kolarov and Demichelis and them, man.
Yeah, obviously Man City had a try to, but
He still shone in his defence. Still helped him win 4 titles.
Yeah, also remember like Joe Hart was like the best keeper in the league.
Yeah,
I think he was a big part of that, you know.
Yeah.
Because after that, Hart looked like a shambles.
Yeah. He had 4 golden gloves, I think the most ever.
Yeah, he has the most. Yeah.
Which is, mad.
Do you know what it is though? I'm kind of annoyed that he's gotten higher than Rio. That doesn't sit well with me. Like,
7 points ahead as well.
yeah, that doesn't sit well with me. That's not okay. Like, no,
But then you got someone like Shaheem who's playing first, and Shaheem put Rio 7th.
See, just people just hate Man United.
yeah. Also, I think it's like he's seen him more recently than he's seen Rio.
Yeah, maybe
Do you know what I
that
mean?
recency
Nah, I
bias.
think we really.
Like even when
just
Malik
won
had Van Dijk first and that.
That's it.
Yeah, because it's
Because you all know Shayaan would take you for over Van Dijk every single day.
You think you would?
No, he wouldn't.
Every Liverpool player would, but they just can't admit it because he's Man United player.
Alright, so in second place, only 4 points ahead of company with 80 is Nemanja Vidic. So Malik had him 9, Shaquille had him 4th, me and Shaheem had him 3rd, Mohsin, Shayaan, Shuaib, Tafan Osama had him 2nd, and Roshaan put him number 1. So bar one person, everyone had him minimum 4th.
Yeah.
So Roshaan, how come you put Vidic as number 1? So Taf put Ferdinand and you put Vidic.
Yeah.
So how come you put Vidic over
I've
Ferdinand?
always just loved the way Vidic plays. He's just so scary. Like attackers are just scared to go against him because what can he do against him? He just goes for everything. He will put his whole body in the line for the ball. And that's what you want to defend, isn't it? If you want to defend, you should leave everything out there every single game, and that's what he did, isn't it? And that's why he won so much games.
As well, I looked at it, and it's kind of unfair to compare this because I think Vidic had Ferdinand and Van der Sar for long periods, so he had 2 quality players next to him. Which I guess with Virgil, he's also got a quality goalkeeper behind him. But
And when he first came in, he didn't.
yeah, but he's a top player, man. Absolute top player. I think Virgil and Vidic could have played in any team in the world and been top players.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They could have played anywhere, whatever formation, under whatever coach, and been good centre backs. So he deserves to be there. Definitely deserves to be there.
Shayaan, so Vidic, you put him 3rd.
Second.
Oh, 2nd, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I think apart besides Terry, I think he's better than everyone else on this because he's won trophies. He's been there for quite a while, and he plays on the pitch. He plays good as well. So yeah, I think apart from Terry, he's better than everyone else.
So
Vidic won 2 Player of the Season awards in the Premier League. That's mad for the family.
I mean, Van Dijk's got 1, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see where he gets. Let's see if he gets another one.
So in first place, only 1 point ahead because Taf just changed his list just before the video. So now just 1 point ahead of Vidic with 81 points. The person we have jointly voted as the greatest centre-back in Premier League history is John Terry.
Let's tap.
So he's put 7th by Roshaan,
That's absolutely cap.
7th by Roshaan, Malik in 3rd, Shayaan put him 2nd, then me, Mohsin, Shakil, Shayaan, Shoaib and Osama put him 1st. And then Taf didn't put him in his list.
Okay.
He did
So-
put him up himself, and that was it.
Everyone had him top 3, and then 7th then.
Okay, my main issue with John Terry is a bit personal. I think he's a shit human being. I don't even want to list the things he's done,
Yeah.
right? But let's remember a footballing sense. Do you remember in the Champions League final? My man had a full kit. He didn't play. He had full kit ready to go on. What a beg. Do you know what I mean? It's like a player who plays like 5 Premier League games on the final day. He's not even on the bench. Instead of coming in the suit, comes in full kit just for the photo op. Like, why would you do that? Everyone knows you're the captain.
Yeah.
You don't need to be in the picture in your full kit for everyone to remember you're there. Do you know what I mean? He was trying to pretend that he played the game. Do you know what I mean? And everyone's seen it. But I mean, in a more footballing sense, aside from being a shit human being, look at his stats, okay, or his abilities. In the air, he was good, alright? But would you say he's better than Vidic in the air?
Wasn't that great?
Would you say he's better than Van Dijk in the air? Do you know what I mean? And if he is, it's not a significant amount. As a passer, he was also good, like a passing centre back. But is he better than Ferdinand as a passer? Is he better than Van Dijk as a passer? Do you know what I mean?
He didn't really like have anything over the better.
This is what I mean. He's not. What's okay? He's a leader. Is he a better leader than Company, or is he about the same? I know he's one more than Company, but he's not one more than Rio. So how can he make top of this list? I don't understand. Maybe you Chelsea lads can let me know.
Let me back
I'll tell you why.
Let me back.
Because he plays so many games. That's why.
Huh?
Because he.
Yeah, he played so many games, but in every single title that Chelsea won, he was one of the most influential men in the team. He was a part of the Chelsea
But
team.
doesn't it just make you a small club?
How?
But if all your titles are influenced by one player,
But that's every team bar United in the Prem. That's City, that's Liverpool, that's Arsenal.
nah, Liverpool had a great period before the Premier League guys. So fair enough.
Yeah, in the Prem down there.
Okay, fine.
And then he was a part of a team who conceded 15 goals in 38 games. You know how mad that is?
That's impressive. That's very,
Wait,
very.
what was it?
15 in a season.
That's only Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, only
That's it, that's
15
it,
goals.
That's
in
exactly.
38 games.
That's
But
what I'm
Jose
thinking.
But still, he was there, and Chelsea conceded. Chelsea lost one game that season, yeah, and it was because of a pen. They lost.
Okay, would you rather be
Jose
part of a team that's conceded 15 goals the whole season, or be part of a team that's gone unbeaten the whole season? And
But
won the
Chelsea
league?
were
And won the
very,
league.
very close to going and being that season.
They weren't though.
They lost one game because
They
of a
weren't.
pen.
There's only one Invincibles, and he's not in it.
But then, when I look at the Invincible team compared to the Chelsea team, they drew 12 games. I think Chelsea drew like 4 and lost 1. Chelsea finished with 95 points before City and Liverpool started destroying these
I
records.
think that's exactly what Roshaan is saying.
Wow.
Look at it. You're playing for Mourinho. He's parking the bus.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
Invincible
my
team
boy.
were playing beautiful football. Everyone wanted to watch them because they played really good football. Do you know what I mean?
Also, Jose Mourinho is a sick manager, mate. And especially them times, yeah. He was always going to do that. Well,
Yeah.
you're not going to concede goals when you're playing 9 at the back.
Yeah. Do you know what I
It's
mean?
always that.
But even both times we went Champions League final,
Yeah,
yeah,
Petr Cech then as well.
yeah,
So arguably one of the best keepers in Premier League history.
different.
Arguably.
But he still helped Chelsea to 2 finals. One we lost because his fault as well.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, but he's still influential for Chelsea going to that final.
Steven John misses.
Chelsea got to multiple semis.
Even he missed the winning
2012 final, he was still up there and he got suspended for the final. He's the
Probably.
top scoring centre back in Premier League history as well.
Okay, well, he's a centre back.
He's got like
I don't think that's
52 or 56 goals in the Prem.
So how many seasons did he play in total?
About 20, probably.
Nah.
At least 18.
Because
He made like 500 appearances.
20 years, yeah.
Yeah.
20 years in the Prem.
97 to 2017. That was at Chelsea. Then Villa, he went to Villa, but I'm pretty sure they were in the Championship when he went there.
I think he. Nah.
Oh, he's on 41 Prem goals.
Yeah.
That's the man. 214 clean sheets.
41. Steve Bruce got 219 in one season. Oh,
214 clean sheets.
I mean, in 20 years,
yeah,
you should.
expect that.
Nah, but well,
In a Mourinho team, for most of that time, for 2 different periods.
Vidic has 96.
He plays.
Company has 94. Ferdinand has 189.
But you see what I mean? Wait, he had 200 something, isn't it?
214.
And Ferdinand has 180 something, right?
Yeah.
Ferdinand's got 6 Premier League titles.
He's only got one more than Terry.
And the Champions League.
Terry's got Champions League.
Does he? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, don't want. Okay. Yeah.
Shayaan back our boy, man.
Oh, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Why? So tell him why.
He's see John Terry. He's a leader, and managers. One of the main qualities they look at a centre back is leadership. And
But he was in a team with Drogba, international captain, Lampard, Essien, international captain,
Yeah.
Cavallo. Like, he was in a team of leaders. It's not actually called. Do you know what I mean? It's not as if
Check.
he was.
Ivanovic.
This is why my argument for him being a leader. Because look at Company. Company.
see
was-
him
Do you know what I mean?
Join the whole
Yeah.
entire team.
That's what I mean. I think Company was probably a more influential leader than Terry
Yeah,
was.
100%.
It's just that Terry was
So
there
what
a long
about Roy
time.
Keane then? Because Manu in them times still had a lot
No,
of
but
big
Woking
man.
was different, you know. Woking, you could tell he was very influential.
That's the same as Terry.
Terry wasn't really that dominant guy on the pitch.
It's where he was.
Not like Joaquin was.
He was.
I think if Mourinho had gone out and paid 20 million then for another centre back
He would
and still had those pieces in front of him,
would have been exactly the same.
do you know what I mean?
Terry was a great player.
I think the same as Neville and Keane and that.
I don't mind saying I never learned it.
No, but Keane was a problem.
But
player.
Keane-
Nah, I think he's to replace Keane easy.
No, you can't. Keane was
way.
not even just his football ability, it was everything else that came with it. In the change rooms, after training, everything. That's what I
Because
mean.
more time with the class of '92, Keane was playing with kids.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas Terry had he had Lampard, Drogba, Robin. Do you know what I mean? He had like world class professionals around him all the time.
Still, when he came in, he still had them, Dennis Irwins and Peter Schmeichel and like John Barnes. Was it John? No, Paul Ince, sorry.
Yeah.
And them, and like, they were still influential man. There's still Eric Cantona.
Yeah, I'm not saying that obviously Joaquin made into a great team. And he took that even further. And he carried it on.
He didn't take it further. He just carried it on.
Yeah.
Fair enough, but my argument is Company is as good as the leader, if not better than John
Yeah,
Terry.
I agree with
So
that.
what?
But
So what makes Sancho stand out? To
Yeah, that's what's killing me. If it's let's just
he
forget.
didn't stand out because he was 1 point ahead. So he didn't stand out.
Company.
I don't think he should make the top of their list. To be fair,
No, he shouldn't. I'm surprised.
But say for example in your list, yeah, when you have put Mans ahead of him, like, let me go to your list.
why are you pulling out receipts, bro? He can't be the best Premier League defender.
Like still like Stam, Bruce, Caballo, Campbell, Desai. They're all great centre backs.
The only one I agree with is Desai. Maybe his transfer is a bit better than Desai.
If you talk about overall, you might have an argument for Stam, but you can't say Stam in the Prem is better than Terry in the Prem.
Why not?
How can you say how not?
I
He won
think
3 points in a treble.
yeah. I think if you pick Stam's 3 seasons
Yeah.
and compare them to Terry's best 3 seasons,
just-
you can still compare them.
He's a better player.
He was only there for 3 seasons. He didn't have no.
But then Terry's best seasons are them 2005, 2004, 5, 5, 6, and then probably 9, 10.
Yeah.
Them 3 Premier League seasons where Chelsea smashed the Prem.
I have someone in trouble.
Okay, man. But you want to say no other team has won the treble in the Prem, innit?
That's what I say.
So that means
that's how
better
good
than
it was.
Terry.
So in this list was the most, like, not controversial, but most different in the sense of, like, there were 5 different people voted as first compared to other lists, like, where it was only 2 or 3. So obviously it shows that elite mass centre backs and the different opinions around the centre backs. So you have a Chelsea one, a Liverpool one, a City one, and 2 United ones.
Hang on, just going back to Terry because I'm not going to let this go. Right. Did Terry have pace? Was he quick?
He was alright.
No,
He wasn't. Would you, if in a foot race, John Terry and Gary Cahill?
No.
No,
I would probably beat John Terry in a race.
No, I don't think you will.
Again, that's my point. Like, Mourinho had them sat on the edge of their 18 area. There was no chance to turn him and give him a run. Do you know what I mean? Whereas with, for example, a Rio Ferdinand, if you turned him, you're probably not going to run away from him. With a Virgil van Dijk, if you turn him, you're probably not going to run away from him.
And these all play exciting football.
They were playing. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's like looking at Atletico in the Champions League and being like, oh, they concede so few goals.
Yeah.
That's because of how they play. They always parked near their goal. Do you know what I mean? So it's not a surprise that they concede 1 or 2 goals tops. Do you know what I mean?
But then it's easy for them times at United because how often are people or teams gonna challenge your back line? When you have the midfield and attack in front of you.
Chelsea for?
He 2004 to I think 8 or 9.
So how many Premier Leagues did you win with him?
He won 2 and then he came back for a year and a half and he won another.
So he won 3?
Yeah.
And Terry won 5 of them?
Yeah.
So he won 5, 3 under Mourinho. So he won 2 without Mourinho?
Yeah. One with Ancelotti, one with Conte.
I mean, he won 2
I
without
think
It shows a lot.
I think Ancelotti is the only different one there. Conte and Mourinho are like they are the same.
It looks
person.
true, isn't it? He needs that protection to do.
But that's my point when I said Vidic won. Ferdinand won only 1 Prem without Vidic and
No, you're saying with our, I'm saying you're saying with our parent, I'm saying with our whole system manager. That's a whole different
correct me
system.
if I'm wrong. Under Conte, did he play that much?
Yeah.
Wasn't it Luis in them? I swear he didn't play that much.
I know
Conte.
Luis played. I'm pretty sure it was Luis, Terry Cahill, back 3,
Right.
and then Alonso.
What year was it? What year was it?
16, 17.
Because I feel like he was on the bench a lot that season. Didn't he leave the season after or something?
Yeah, he left at the end of that year. I remember in his last game they took him off in the 26th minute because that was his number.
2016, 17.
He was just having a bad game.
He played 9 games.
He played 9 games.
games.
That's what I'm saying. He just made halfway to that. You know, do you know what I mean? To the middle.
Yeah.
But having said that, he did play 20 years. I give him that, but I'm sorry, he can't be the best centre back.
Wait, so that's 2015, 16 you win the Prem?
Yeah.
2014, 15.
No, that year that he played 9 games you win the Prem.
2016, 17.
Yeah. Did you win the Prem now?
Yeah, 2016, 17.
So of the 5 Premier Leagues you won 3 under Mourinho, 1 playing 9 games. So he won 1 Prem where he actually played football.
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah.
Are you telling me he's a better player than Vidic, Yabstam, Ferdinand, Van Dijk,
And Chelsea still had, the year they win the Champions League, the year they go to the Champions League final as well.
Okay, but he won 1 Prem playing actual football.
Your defense was protected as well. When you come up to elite teams, you didn't hack it.
No, that's fine, but that's the same. That for me, that's the same as Van Dijk. Them men play on the halfway line.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Top teams or footballing teams, they play on the halfway line. They're centre back. So there are scenarios where there's 1-on-1s where you know if you get beat, this man could run away to your keeper. Do you get it? With Terry,
It's risky, innit?
with Terry,
But it didn't happen to him though.
There's no risk with Terry, innit? Because
he's there. Yeah. The only risk is giving away a pen.
Yeah.
But Chelsea didn't need to defend that much in it.
Okay, but what's your excuse for why you wouldn't want Premier League playing football?
What excuse is that?
There's none because he won a great.
But that's why I'm saying Man U only won the Prems in one system. And they ain't won the Prem since that system.
Yeah. But that system wasn't parking the bus.
Yeah.
I don't mind different systems. Low block is my issue. My issue is low block.
My night system shows how good the defenders were in it because no one really got past them. But your system shows how good your system, but your whole back line.
But then we still have man's winning golden boots.
Like you.
Drogba won few, Lampard won 1.
Did Lampard win the golden boot?
Second, I think.
Yeah.
That year he said he's got.
Well, you had one standout player, Drogba. One standout second player.
And Lampard
Lampard, your midfielder.
And that's what annoys me. Could you imagine the numbers those guys could have gotten if you guys played full on attacking?
Because look at Man United, we ain't got one player, we got 7 different players.
But you have way more. When you look at Chelsea's wingers at that time, Joko, Robben, Flora Malouda, Nauka, Solomon Kalou, and then you compare them to Carlos Tevez, Cristiano Ronaldo, Wayne Rooney. Because
he made them players. Ronaldo wasn't sick when he came to United. Tevez wasn't all that. He made them players, isn't it? You made them. Besides, like, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because Man U played attacking, so your defense didn't get tested. So your defense, our defense winners titles, your attack win you
No, your
titles.
system winning titles.
Our
The
defense
defensive part of
titles.
the system.
Our defense winners titles, and your attack.
But
wins
okay, but
titles.
John Terry didn't win your titles.
Yeah, yeah,
No, we didn't.
yeah.
That's my argument. John Terry didn't win your titles. Your defense may have won your titles, but John Terry didn't. That's my argument.
I'm gonna just end it there, yeah, because this argument could go on for bare long, man. So,
Terry does not deserve to be.
How do you, man?
man?
how did you, man, find it?
Yeah. Happy with the overall list, just not the end. But the rest of it was good. The rest was good stuff.
Shayaan, Terry's the best, isn't it? Tell him, man.
Best of what?
So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell thing to be notified. Check Spotify if you prefer the audio, and check Monday episodes if you prefer the main one. And we're out. Peace.